what we're going to talk about is what I call learning in layers, or that learning is in layers. So I want you guys to think about this. Anything that you're learning, there's some aspects of it that you're going to get like right now. Let's think about like back when you've had your first class with me and you learned 8 on a hand. And then you learned quarter accents, and then you learned double beat. Here, you learned it pretty quickly, right? Because they're not that hard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like the first layer of learning is being the things that you can get immediately. Those are awesome. But then there's a second aspect to it where it's like actually developing this. So this is like, to me, like the second layer of learning is where you take something that you've learned, right? But now you're starting to get kind of good at it. You're developing it. So like even though you knew what 8 on a hand was the minute I showed it to you, it probably took you about a week to get really comfortable with it, because now you don't really have to think about it anymore, right? You just play it, right? So that's the sort of the short term. You know, you have the immediate thing where you can learn it now immediately, and then you have the short term where it's like you're developing it and some things just take a little bit of time. And then you have the long term, right? Long term is when you get beyond that short term, like the longer things of development. So like we did 8 on a hand, we did quarter accents, we did double beat. Then we started working on rolls. Rolls is a great example of something that takes some time. Do you guys remember when I first taught you the roll exercise? It was really hard for you. So you didn't get it immediately. That was something that took a little bit more time, but it didn't take a long period of time. It was a short period of time, like maybe a couple weeks. It took a couple weeks to kind of really learn the exercise, right? But then now we're a few months into this thing. You guys are playing your rolls pretty good now, right? So that's the third layer that I'm talking about. So anything that you learn, I think, can be viewed that way. Some stuff you're just going to get right now. If I teach you how to do a paradiddle, which I don't think we've gone over that quite yet, but if I teach you how to do a paradiddle, which is right, left, right, or left, right, left, left, you could probably do that right now. But if I wanted to get you to do a paradiddle in the context of a piece that we're playing, and maybe it's kind of quick, that might take you a little bit more time. But maybe down the road, we want to be able to play paradiddles really fast. That will take even more time. And some of it is physically preparing yourself for it. Some of it is, probably most of it is mental, because it's more how you think about this stuff and less about the physical aspect of it. It's about your mind and your body working together to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish with your drumming. So do you guys think you understand what I mean by the 3 layers here? So what I want to get across to you by explaining this to you is when you're learning new things, be aware of this. Be aware that there's some things you're going to get now. There's going to be some things that take maybe a week or 2, so don't get too frustrated yet. And then there's going to be some things that take maybe months, or maybe even a year or years. Like there's stuff that I'm working on that I've been working on for years, and I'm still not where I want to be with it. It's just, that's all normal. So don't let that impact your confidence. Just because you can't do it now doesn't mean you won't ever get it. Also, don't let it stress you out or frustrate you, because if you're persistent, you will get it eventually. And remember this, is at one point in time, anybody who was ever an expert at anything started from scratch. They didn't know what they were doing.